Jedi Mind Hack of the day. I'm here again. It is a Saturday and I am Jessica Alstrom. We're waiting to tell your people. Great, wonderful. And we are live on YouTube. Yes, yes, queens. I am dressed for the job that I am looking for. The goddess energy is here today. Happy Saturday, everyone. Good to see you. I'm checking to see if we're getting some movement. Yeah, okay, good. I'm going to jump in. So welcome to the Jedi Mind Hack of the day. Today's Jedi Mind Hack is all about using the feminine energy to quantum leap, completely clean up your life, and resurrect your relationships in proper ways, heal the inner child, and many, many more. So a little backstory here. Obviously, we are working on an ascension. We're in this rapid evolutionary process. And in this process, we have been, for the last 7,000 years or so, we have been led energetically by the divine masculine energy. And the divine masculine energy isn't bad or good. It's just masculine. And it represents the idea of divide, separate, fix, build, project. Okay, it governs time, and whole religions have been constructed out of their divine masculine, kind of like, where is the feminine in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? Where is the feminine energy? Where is the Sophia energy when we're looking at, the last 100 or 200 years or more of our mainstream religion? Seems to be missing a very important aspect. Now, we understand that the holistic version of a human is to be balanced in their masculine and feminine. So we're not going to go completely extreme feminine for the next 7 years. We're going to be looking for and creating balance. But first, before we do that, we have to kind of flip the scales. So you're going to see that there's going to be a rapid rise. It started around in the 60s. And again, the feminism, the world of feminism had its qualities that were positive and negative. It did pull mothers out of the home. It did disrupt the family. But again, when you're playing with reality generation of simulations, it kind of goes there in cycles. So it's going to go from one extreme to the other, because the game would obviously get boring if we were playing the same way every time. So we do a loop of divine masculine, then we're going to cycle through the feminine. Now, what is feminine energy? Because I have had so many female clients, probably in the last 15 years, have come to me and they look feminine, they dress feminine, they act feminine, but they are completely leading with their masculine energy. Okay, so let's break into this feminine energy for a minute. Feminine energy is unify, nurture, okay? It is grow, it is multiply, and it is reflect, and it governs abundance and space, okay? So this is why when we're looking at feminine energy versus masculine energy, then we're also going to break up the yin and yang of thought and emotion. So thought is masculine and feeling is feminine. So if we have been in a masculine cycle, then we have been thinking before we have been feeling. Okay, now let's break that down again. If the masculine is divide and separate, that means that when we think before we feel, we are separating ourselves from the whole to get to a conclusion. And this is why in the third dimension simulation, the definition of love in the third dimension is pain. This is why if you look at the people that you love in your life, you will have pain associated with them. You'll have guilt, you'll have obligation, you'll have rejection, you'll have abandonment wounds there, because the third dimensional game of love is pain, because it comes from the masculine thought instead of coming from the feeling state first. So this is going to be the biggest Jedi mind hack and the flip. Now, could you just not know this information and live your life? Yeah. Eventually, by osmosis, you would begin to shift because you're being pressurized. You're part of a grand experiment. You are playing a third dimensional simulation game. And again, once the 100 monkey effect kicks in, you too will be a byproduct of feeling before you think. But if you want to hack this matrix and you want to flip out of the control sequence, then what you can do, and this is what I'm teaching my class currently right now, is you're going to be working with first the feminine energy, secondary inner child energy, third masculine energy. Now, there's nothing wrong with the masculine energy. It is just as important, but because it's been so dominating in our culture, in our religions, in our sciences, and in our world, that it has disrupted the unity of the flow. It has a lot of divide and conquer energy. It has a lot of separation consciousness. It has a lot of duality nature. And so when we look at feminine energy, it is inclusive, it is nurturing, it is about the holistic cycle of life, rather than kind of like masculine is very survival and feminine energy is very thrival, right? Moms are about the thriving, but this isn't really about moms or dads. It's about energy. So let's pick a situation that's going on in your life right now, and I'll walk you through how this Jedi Mind Hack works, because it's pretty awesome. And all of you, even if you consider yourself extraordinarily masculine, you are going to be able to shift this and not lose your man card whatsoever, because you are going to actually understand your family better. You will become a better visionary. You will become a better follow-through man, because again, you're going to be working with a holistic model versus a singular separate model. And that is going to help you really engage in your projects and your purpose deeper. So take any situation that you are currently experiencing that you would not consider your highest joy. Okay. And I mean, we're humans, so we all have these kind of situations going on. So pick a situation that is not your highest joy and, think about it. And then have an emotion after the thought. And if it's heavy, if it's dense, it's going to be like, the thought of it is going to be like, and then the feeling that comes on the back end of the thought is now going to be in a lower vibration. Okay. So scratch that. And now what you're going to do is you're going to get heart-centered first. You're going to get into your feels first. Okay. You're going to think about something that you love or care about, or your happy place, or your favorite memory, because that's how you activate your heart. And, if you're really minded, then you can even put your hand on your heart, and that will bring the energy to your heart space, because you are a touchscreen computer. And so your attention, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So you can put your hand here, take a deep breath with a sigh, get back into grounding. Okay, now think about that same situation from a heart-centered place, or a nurturing feeling. So instead of I have to, we're going to shift into I get to, or I might not love this, but how is this going to affect the whole? It might be like an unhappy situation or something, but when you think about being done with it and you think about the feeling space first, then what happens is you start to feel better thoughts about your current situation. And so anytime any of my feminine clients are in their head and they're in the overthinking and they're in the nasty scenario thinking and they're the assumptions and they're in the what ifs and why did he do this and why did that happen, it is because they did not start in the heart. If they would have started in the heart, it would have been a completely different story, and they would have understood that that was not, their space or where they should have been, or blah, 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 and all that good stuff. And so when we are moving into this shift, it's happening, you guys, whether you like it or not. The rise of the divine, feminine is happening. And so you can either let go or be dragged. But if you slow down, because remember, the divine feminine's life cycle is 4 weeks, a 4-week period. Divine masculine cycle is in 1 day. That's why it's go, 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 go. Also, the masculine energy governs time, okay, which is a word in here. I mean, think about it. I'm running out of time. I don't have enough time, right? I'm losing time. You don't have the time to do the things you want. And we're supposed to be, somewhat free here. No, we're slaves. Until we begin to bend time with the feminine energy, because the feminine energy says slow down to speed up. Because when you slow down and you get in the time space continuum of nature, everything is right on time. But when you are in scarcity, when you are in fear states, when you are in confusion states, when you are like in the uncertain states, when you are, in that judgmental mind or that worried mind or that anxiety mind, time is going to be a major burden for you. And you're going to try to outrun your feelings. So that is not a good idea, because I've tried that dozens of times. And what happens is you realize that this is a big loop and you can't outrun yourself. So we're all going to have to face the masculine mess up that has occurred. And again, I'm not talking about men particularly. I'm talking about ruling with masculine energy as the dominant source was guaranteed destruction, because divine masculine likes to create through destruction. It likes to build, and feminine energy likes to grow and multiply. Okay, so when we are multiplying our feelings and we are unifying our feelings, we're taking every life into consideration. We're taking all life into consideration. So we're not going to we're not going to be in a science lab with a masculine thought process and go, oh, here's a cheaper way to make food, and yet it kills the world. A feminine energy leading would see, no, we will spend more time. We will figure out how to heal the world, because it's the nurturing energy. It's the loving energy. It's the cosmic energy. So there are two matrices that you get to choose and play with here while you're in the simulation. You may only think you have one, but you actually have two. The first one is the one that your mind is plugged into. Okay, the secondary one is what they call the divine matrix, and it's connected to your heart. And if you can connect to the divine matrix, then you start the creative process through your heart to the mind. And when you think first through your heart and you feel first about everything, not just the separation and the division, me, or I've got to survive, which creates desperation. Desperation creates criminal energy. And then you're doing something that you would not do, that's completely out of context for you. And then you're going to go back into that survival loop, because the masculine energy without the feminine wisdom is destructive. It is very destructive. Now, the makers of the game, okay, that I've shared in the other Jedi Mind Hacks, the warlords that we're playing up against here in this simulation, they understand this. And yet, as they are pushing out a very male model for us to follow with time and how we think, and our feelings don't matter, and go, and, separate your energy and separate from the family and separate from your problems and separate from all of the things that could be healing you, separate from nature and go to a Western doctor. It's silly. But see, the game makers know that if you are in your masculine energy, eventually your species will die out. Okay? Now, dominant, only feminine is not going to work either, but we're going to balance that. We're going to balance that. And as the divine feminine heals and rises, she then is going to be the positive influence. She's going to be the atmosphere for the masculine to regulate itself. And so the game makers know this. And so their particular religion that they follow, the occult studies, it's all based in feminine energy. I mean, if you see the M's, everywhere, that's for the mother. Matrix means womb. And they're going off of a very different construct while they're teaching you that Father God and Son and the Holy Spirit is your Lord and Savior. Okay? And so if you bring back the feminine energy and you actually start in your feeling state, which is your heart state, which is a stargate, which is telepathic. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to get out of scarcity and you want to get out of the suffering, and you want to unify with people, but it doesn't feel safe because you've been hurt a few times. And so you think about your current situation of maybe starting a new business, but then, separation and division bring up all of the failure complex. and that doesn't feel good. So you drop the idea of doing anything, or you think about putting yourself out there and then it feels bad, okay, because you thought first. But if you start in your heart's desires, you start in the feeling place, you start in no thought, but how does it feel when I see myself living my dream? Or how does it feel starting that business from that heart-centered place? Now, I'm going to think about that through my heart first, and then I'm going to bring the mind in, the masculine, because that's going to be the doer. This is why women who are really in their masculine shield are go, 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 go. They got to do, 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 do. The feminine energy is the being. It's the sitting and contemplating. It's the meditating. It's the gardening. It's the cooking. It's the gentle pace of life that still gets you exactly where you need to be without anxiety. All right. And so if you thought about that from your feminine space and dropped into the heart, here's the Jedi mind trick. The heart, a true heart-centered feeling that is coming from like a dream or a desire that you have, is now connecting with every other heart. When you start in the mind, you are connecting with every other mind in the matrix. That means everyone else in separation is getting that message. So the people that are going to come in that are going to help you with your business are going to be matrix minded. If you start in your heart, that will send out a frequency to the divine matrix. The divine matrix is going to connect with other like-minded hearts. Which one feels better in business? Which one feels better in relationships? Which one feels better in potentials? So you don't have to worry about, starting over or getting hurt again. You're just going to start different, because the definition of anxiety is the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And the dreams in your heart are not going to change. But how you're going to go about it this time is you're going to develop your vision that is going to be the blueprint that then will engage the mind, instead of getting an idea, running with it, and then trying to create the feeling state in a sales meeting or with, potential investors. You're going to start in your heart, and you're going to let that communicate to the divine matrix. And then you're going to get the right people, places, and things for your partners, for your business model, for your clients, or just maybe for your art, or for that book you want to write, or whatever it is. This can go from getting healthy, right? So what's the thing, ladies, what we do? Okay, we get on the scale and we're like, ooh, ouch. Okay, what's the first thing you do? You start thinking, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? What do I need to take? What do I need to eat? Wrong, 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 wrong. Ladies, okay, so you get on the scale. It was a good weekend. It was a good holiday, whatever. And you're not excited about that emotion, okay? Drop in the heart. Who am I really, right? I love my body. I'm not going to run out and go torture myself. I'm not going to do another quick fix diet. I'm not going to go look for another guru. I'm not going to buy another piece of equipment right now until I figure out what is going on with me, that I am eating my feelings, or what is going on with me, like what has changed. See, it's like now we're slowing down and we're looking at all variables. And then I can be like, oh, hey, I just got an idea. I've got a friend, Jess, who's like intuitive medium. I can give her a call and she can look at my body and see if my metabolism. But you wouldn't have had the thought to call or, like tap into someone else heart-minded if you were in fear of scarcity. When you're in fear and scarcity, all you want to do is take action. And that's how the matrix steals your soul, little bit by little bit, because the action that you take in scarcity, the action that you take in desperation, the action that you take in fear, the action you take in anxiety is actually laced with all of those things at the back end for you to re-experience. This is why when you think and do instead of feel and think, then you are missing out on a whole entire universe that is designed to support you. Because one thing God says to me in every meditation is, you're not alone. None of you are alone. You've never been alone. You never will be alone. And when you feel alone, you are disconnecting from the divine matrix of support. Okay, let's look at this idea very quickly before we wrap here. The story of Star Wars. Okay. Luke, he was a little bit of a drama queen in his come up story. We know that. But then again, like, who was his arch nemesis? Luke, I am your father. Isn't that interesting? So the father in the Bible of the God of the Matrix with the God with the little g, okay, is your father energy. Do you start to get this now? You are Luke. Darth Vader is the God of your religions, okay? And it is designed with armies and super mega churches and money and power. Did you realize this? And so we are shifting back in to what will not only heal this planet, because when divine feminine is leading through her heart, she cares about nature. Masculine is consume and instant gratification when it is singular, when it is without feminine energy. It is quick fix. And this is why, guys, don't get it twisted. This is why the Matrix wants you addicted to porn, because they're milking you like a cow so that you will have no desire to build an army or become a gladiator, because they build you up and then they milk you down and they're stealing your life force energy. That's why porn is free, because they do not want you connecting intimately with women. They want you going, well, that girl looks way better than the girls in my town, so I'm going to go on that, porn site, and I'm going to, and you're going to lose your seed, okay? And that's how they've enslaved the masculine to not really even want to deal with the feminine these last 100 years or so. And so now the feminine energy is like, where's all the men? There's no men. I'm going to become one because I want that shelf hung, and I want a 401k, and I want to go on vacation twice a year. And I see this all the time. So if you're going to take this Jedi Mind Hack to heart, then next time you're in a situation where you kind of get triggered in like a fear state or a, hurry, 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 or anxiety, take a pause. Okay, drop in. You can either put your hand on your heart, or you can think of 10 things that you love or something that really warms your heart. Take a deep breath, settle around your energy, and then rethink about the same situation from your heart. Notice how it feels different, but also remember that when you think about that and there is something that you need or want, that the divine knows and hears you when you are here. When you are asking from here, you are not speaking to your real creator. When you speak from the mind, you go into the collective mind, the hive mind, and you're going to get a disembodied spirit that is going to sound just like a religious or a guru type of person, because they've got all the same information. So this is your Jedi Mind Hack of the day, is if you want to really hack your life back to love and peace and joy, which means you manifest more joy, and while you're slowing down, better people, better places, better things, then you're not going to get there through the directive of the mind, and practicing being in the feminine energy now and starting there, which is a holistic, which means all humans are in that concept. You're not thinking about just you singularly, you're thinking about how it affects everyone. Then you are going to then be connected to everyone else who is heart-centered. And that is going to bring you such a better array of playmates and playground opportunities. And that is, you'll see. Give it a try. So this is what we're kind of doing in our classroom. Now, another thing too is if you are in your feminine energy, it's a lot easier to get back to your inner child, because when you are in the masculine, it's very much about judging, and it's very much about, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to play. But in order to get into your feminine, you're going to slow down to speed up, and that's where you're going to find your inner child, who's been like, hey, you had me in a dungeon this whole time while you were trying to make money, and I'm the one that knows the way out of this place, by the way. So you might want to bring me back and resurrect me. And you guys will see that's going to be how you get out of hell, is through the divine feminine and the inner child, because this is all a game. but it is very much about you working with your own consciousness. Remember, your two hemispheres of your brain are your masculine and your feminine king and queen, and this is the kingdom of heaven, and this is all you have. So if this is imbalanced, that's going to be imbalanced. If this feels uncomfortable, that's going to be hell on earth, but it is just a quick flip that is going to cause you to be a little bit more present and slow down and be with your feels. Yes, you will have to feel your feels, but then eventually all those feels you've been running from are going to stop haunting you, and they're going to start helping you. So I hope you got a little nugget out of this, because this has been a game changer for me in my life, and all of my students are going hella fast now because we have gotten the thinking mind. So remember, the new world, 5D, is feel, then think. The matrix is think and then feel. So flip that switch and you will be living in, soon to be, heaven on earth, because that's actually how it's created. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me again, and I will see you tomorrow. And